Did you know that the glittering world of K-pop and the addictive storylines of K-dramas were born from a history of unimaginable hardship, unbreakable spirit, and a miracle that shocked the entire world? In the next 3 minutes, we're going on a whirlwind tour of the entire history of South Korea. And trust me, it's more dramatic than any show you've ever streamed. Our story begins over 2,000 years ago, not with one nation, but with three powerful kingdoms constantly at war. Goguryeo in the north, Baekje in the southwest, and Silla in the southeast. Imagine Game of Thrones, but on the Korean peninsula. For centuries, they battled for dominance, a period filled with epic heroes, strategic alliances, and heartbreaking betrayals. In the 7th century, the underdog kingdom of Silla, with a strategic alliance with Tang China, finally achieved what seemed impossible. They unified the peninsula for the very first time. This unified Silla period was a golden age of art, Buddhism, and international trade. But peace, as we know, rarely lasts. The Goryeo dynasty, from which we get the name Korea, took over in the 10th century. They were a nation of incredible resilience, inventing the world's first movable metal type for printing, decades before Gutenberg. But they also faced relentless invasions from the north, most devastatingly by the Mongols. For 30 years, the Goryeo court resisted from an island fortress, a testament to their sheer willpower. Next came the Joseon dynasty, which would rule for over 500 years. This was the era of King Sejong the Great, a visionary leader who, in 1443, created the Korean alphabet, Hangul. He wanted an alphabet so simple that anyone, from a scholar to a farmer, could learn to read and write. It was a revolutionary act of empowerment. But this long era also saw devastating invasions from Japan and the Manchus, and a policy of isolationism that earned Korea the nickname, the Hermit Kingdom. Then came the 20th century, the darkest chapter. In 1910, Japan annexed Korea, beginning a brutal 35-year colonial rule. The Korean language was suppressed, names were forcibly changed, and resources were stripped away. Yet, the spirit of independence never died. On March 1, 1919, millions of Koreans peacefully protested for their freedom. A movement that was violently crushed, but lit a fire that could not be extinguished. Liberation in 1945 wasn't the happy ending they'd hoped for. The country was split in two by the US and the Soviet Union, a division meant to be temporary. But it became permanent, leading to the devastating Korean War in 1950. In just 3 years, millions of lives were lost, and the entire peninsula was reduced to rubble. South Korea became one of the poorest countries on Earth. And here's the twist, here's the miracle. From the ashes of war, a nation decided to rebuild. Enduring military dictatorships and political turmoil, the people worked with ferocious determination. This period, known as the Miracle on the Han River, saw South Korea transform from an aid-dependent nation into a global economic powerhouse in just a few decades. An unprecedented feat. In 1987, massive pro-democracy protests finally brought an end to authoritarian rule, ushering in the vibrant democracy we see today. So, the next time you're listening to a BTS song or watching Squid Game, remember the story behind it all. A story of three kingdoms, a king who gifted his people a language, a nation that endured colonization and war, and a people who performed an economic miracle. This isn't just history, it's the epic, real-life drama that forged the soul of modern South Korea.